So we're going to start looking at GPath for XML now. Now it can actually be quite difficult to find an API that returns XML to practice on. So I'll be using my video game database for these examples, and I'll be making sure that I return XML. Even though it's fine to hard APIs to practice on, there are still many widely used, as XML was probably around before JSON, so it's still worthwhile learning how to use XML as well, because you never know if you might need to be testing that. So for these tests, I'm changing the test conflict class, and I'm going to change it back to the video game request spec. So we're not using the football one at the moment. So we'll change it back to video game, and I'm also going to change the content type to XML by default. And let's go ahead and create a new class for our tests. So we'll say new Java class, and we'll say GPath XML tests. Let's do our config to wire this up. So we'll import rest assured. And we'll extend this class. Let me zoom that in there. Extend it off of the test config class. Okay, so now we're ready to start writing our XML tests. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to call the video games endpoint to get all of the video games. And we're just going to return the name of the very first game in the list. So let's see how we would do that in GPath for XML. Say at test, we'll say public void get first game in the list. So again, we use the rest assured response, and then we're just calling the video games endpoint. We should be able to use our endpoint class here as well. Video games, there we go. We can wire that up. So now from that response, we're just going to get the name of the first string, the name of the first game that gets returned. So we'll do response.path, and we don't need to specify JSON path or XML path, because rest assured will determine that for us. So you could choose which one here, but you can just use path. Rest assured will know that it's XML because of the headers. And then we write our GPath expression here. So here we say take the video games, say all the video games, find first video game in the list, and we'll take its name. So the first name that gets returned. So this expression videogame.videogame.name, this would return all of these names. So it would go through each one and extract the names presumably into an array for us. But by specifying that we just want the first one, or the first value of the array, in this case the item position 0, it will just get the name of the first game for us. Check that it prints that out. Let's go ahead and run this test. And sure enough, it returns the first game in the list, which is Resident Evil 4. Okay, I'll see you in the next lecture for more examples of GPath XML.